Have you ever noticed that different phrases affect children in different ways? Are there certain things that ought to be avoided when talking to children? In this video, we're going to be going through 4 different things that ought to be avoided when talking to your children. Welcome back, my friend. How many children do you personally have? How many times have you wondered, how can I become a better parent and actually have a better influence on my children? During this video, we're going to give you 4 things to never say to your children. Now, of course, parenting can be kind of a sensitive subject. No one ever wants to think that he or she is a bad parent, and so please know that this is not a direct criticism to you. In a lot of cases, I may not even know you, and so who am I to tell you if you are a good or a bad parent? These are just 4 things that I have found that have been a good idea to avoid with our children. And so, let's get started. The first thing you want to avoid are labels such as you are bad, or you are naughty, or you are stupid, or you are fat. In the English language, we don't have a way to distinguish between you are, as in you are currently being, and you are meaning you actually identify with this characteristic. And so it can be really demeaning for a child to grow up hearing that he or she is bad, or lazy, or fat, or stupid, or any one of those things. As a child grows, especially when they're little, those types of things actually get lodged inside their subconscious. There's a thing called the Pygmalion Effect, which is an old psychology term. And basically it means that we tend to live up to the labels that are placed on us. Now, this is also true with adults. For example, if we have supervisors that always tell us that we're horrible workers, we generally tend to become more horrible workers. If we have supervisors that tell us that we are amazing, that we're valued, and that we're fantastic workers, we generally end up living up to those positive labels. Instead of saying you are this, if you want to correct a child's behavior, a different idea could be simply saying you are acting inappropriately, or the behavior that you are showing is not okay, or what you are doing is not very good. Doing this allows the child to separate that label from their actual behavior, because let's be honest, are they their behavior? Of course not. There isn't a single child that I know of that has had totally perfect behavior from the moment they came out of the womb until the day that they died. Maybe there is, maybe it's your child. I don't know. Maybe you're a perfect parent. I certainly am not, but again, I've never met a child like that. And something that we try to avoid doing is, again, saying you are this. If we need to correct one of our children's behavior, we'll simply get down at their level and we'll let them know that the behavior that they were pursuing was not appropriate, and then explain why. If we're going to use labels, we always use positives. For example, we tell our daughter that she's beautiful, that she's loved, that she's wonderful. We tell our sons that they're handsome, that they're wonderful, that they're so well behaved. And of course, we want them to actually live up to those positive standards. Number 2, I can't tell you how many times I've heard parents dash the dreams of their children without even realizing it. Children, of course, are dreamers, and they love to fantasize about achieving amazing things in life. For example, some children really love basketball, and so maybe they'll watch their favorite basketball players on TV and they'll say, I'm going to be just like that person. I'm going to go to the NBA and I'm going to become the most amazing basketball player there has ever lived. And what do a lot of parents do? They say, well, don't get your hopes up, kid. And for whatever reason, they feel like being realistic is a better way to parent to that child rather than actually encouraging their dreams. My friend, way too many people have their dreams dashed as children. And so they grow up thinking, well, I guess it isn't actually possible for me to go for what I really want, so let's settle for something mediocre. My friend, encourage your children. Allow them to dream and say, that sounds like an amazing dream. I really, really will support you. I hope you get it. I know that you can. You can do absolutely anything that you desire. Number 3. Asking negative questions. I've heard myself do this a few times, as well as other people in my family, and it's not exactly the best thing to do. A lot of times we will see one of our children performing some not very good behavior, and we'll ask them negative questions like, why are you so poorly behaved? Or why would you go and hit your brother all the time? Or why do you always hit your head? The only problem with that is whenever a person is asked a certain question, especially if it's put in the form of a why question, their subconscious goes to work looking for the answer. For example, if a person asks him or herself, why am I so stupid? The brain goes to work looking for reasons why that person is stupid. And children, of course, are no different. If we're asking them negative why questions, that will continue to form in their brain of why they will continue to do whatever behavior that you're not wanting them to do. Turning it around into the positive can have such a huge effect. For example, when my children are misbehaving, sometimes I'll look at them and I'll say, why are you so amazing? And they'll kind of look at me like, huh? And they'll begin to actually change their behavior, and they'll want to live up to that positive label of being amazing. I love to praise my children, and I love to ask them, why are you so beautiful? Why are you so handsome? Why are you so well-behaved? Why are you so smart? Why are you so incredible? Because again, I understand the principle that when I ask them these questions, their brains will go to work looking for the answer. Be very careful what type of questions you are asking your children, because it just may have a huge, profound effect on how they turn out. Finally, avoid limiting cliches. Now, what do I mean by limiting cliches? How many times when you were growing up did you hear certain things like, well, money doesn't grow on trees, or money can't buy happiness, or don't go after your dreams, or we can't afford it, or ridiculous things like that? My friend, please eliminate those ridiculous cliches from your vocabulary. They really do nothing positive. Replace those with positive beliefs. For example, if for whatever reason your child is asking you for something that at that moment you don't have the money for, rather than simply saying something like, you know what, we can't afford it, or you know what, money isn't easy to come by, replace it with something like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's figure out a way that we can actually create the funds to purchase that. Notice the difference between that and, well, no, we can't afford it, and totally slamming that child's hopes. It makes a huge difference, my friend. And so what are the 4 things? Avoid labels, avoid dashing their dreams, avoid negative questions, and avoid limiting cliches. Turning these things around into the positive can have such a huge impact on the happiness of not only you, but also your children. Put these things into practice, my friend, and watch how much easier parenting becomes. Thank you so very much for watching our video, my friend. As always, please make sure to leave us a comment below and give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this on Facebook, please feel free to share it on your page and share it with other people, perhaps tagging other people that you know would benefit from this video. And as always, we would love to see you at one of our live events. We'll see you there.